Hello, it's Gray.
Hello, it's Crystal.
And this is Bustation View. This is a supernatural commentary podcast where I, someone who has seen this show many, many times.
And I... Why are you saying many on one where you forgot a lot?
I immediately regretted it after I said it. So yeah. I've seen this show a normal amount of times, I think, for a person who's seen it all.
Yeah. Has he even seen it? Yes, but has he? Yeah. And I, someone who only knows the show through social media, discuss every single episode of Supernatural from start to finish. Also, we are both Asian.
Both Asian. For today's episode, we will be discussing Season 6, Episode 7, Family Matters, written by Andrew Dabb and Daniel Laughlin. I sound like I'm trying to do a mask off with my voice. Directed by Guy V. And also the problem is the fact that I have seen this show. Maybe if I haven't, I'd have a better time. I just feel like I'd do a better job with podcasting if I'm surprised by every shocking turn of events. But I'm
Perhaps.
not. And I also don't know anything. Like, it's a bad combo.
No, I feel like it's also supremely uninteresting for the premise being one guy who's seen it and one guy who's not, since, like, I also know every twist. Like, I don't know, like, some people might have been coming in at the very beginning being like, and Crystal won't know about Soulless Sam. I know about Soulless Sam. I know about everything.
And
I just don't know the specific lines they said.
Just for, like, some back the stage, or, like, beyond, what do you call it? Like, backstage, like...
behind the scenes?
Yeah, like, just some for behind the scenes. Like, at the very beginning of this podcast, when we were formulating our intro, I think you were gonna say that I have never seen the show, and you were like, that's just fundamentally untrue, I think. Like, that's a very misleading thing to say. And we were like, know it from Tumblr, maybe? And you were like, I specifically do not want that to be put out in the world, even though it's the complete fucking truth. And so we settled to know it from social media. Yes. We settled to know it from social media. The stupidest fucking statement ever said. Like, what do you mean know it from social media?
Or it's the smartest statement ever said. You don't know. What scales are we using?
Yeah.
Anyway, Guy
secretly
V
the smartest.
directed Asylum and hasn't directed anything until now.
Yeah. I'm sure he's gonna be around. And I do still regret that at some point you said that, like, how is a guy just named Guy? And I didn't push back further because I think it's a completely fun and normal and fine name.
I think you did push back.
He will direct many other episodes. He'll direct Stairway to Heaven, the last episode of season 9.
Yeah.
When Dean becomes a demon. We literally do not give a fuck about spoilers.
Well, yeah, I know he's a demon in season 10 at the beginning, so we had to at the end of season 9.
And Frontierland, which is the one where Dean meets Elliot Ness, I'm pretty sure. And Crystal incessantly messaged me while watching this episode. Well, they were watching this episode about how hot Sam is.
Incessantly,
I think it was incessant.
I sent you like 2 messages max. That is not incessant in our friendship.
I think it was. Yeah, this is true.
It wasn't incessant. I am willing to read my 2 messages aloud to prove to the people that it wasn't incessant.
No, it was. You were actually hedging a lot.
What?
You were hedging a lot. Your bets on whether Sam is hot or not. Like, you were asking for the suggestion of whether he's hot or not. Okay, read your messages.
I said, I haven't seen a man with blood on his face in so long. Why do I want Sam so bad? And then I said, have you watched the app yet? Maybe I'm normal and Sam's just incredibly alluring, this app.
I don't know if he is, but there is also a very strong chance and possibility that 2 factors are affecting this insight. One is that Cass is also in this episode.
Yeah.
And 2 is that I just don't like season 6 Sam's hair. I don't like it.
The thing is, after the blood is off his face, like, I don't really
fine.
care about him. I think that the blood sort of changes his hairline.
Yeah. Like Cass absorbed his hotness or something.
Yeah.
After he
Who do you
magicked the
think
blood
took
off.
your hotness, etc.
Literally. The scene where, who was it? Samuel was like, "Oh, this is your wings," or something with Cass. And Cass
No, I
is
was
there.
like,
And he,
should Cass
solidly
and
nods.
Samuel fuck?
Cass nods very solemnly, but also in an amused way. What is this? What is going on?
Yeah.
Love it.
Maybe you should fuck Sam and Dean's grandfather.
Yeah, he should have an affair with Samuel, with Mary, not with John Winchester, unfortunately. Because I think it will be a huge betrayal to everyone involved in ways that fucking Mary Winchester or Samuel Campbell is not.
Yeah.
Bobby, too.
And
I
Bobby.
suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rufus. We're really pushing it with...
Why not? Have they met?
No, but many people ship Cass and Rufus, and I fully understand. My definition of many people may be nebulous.
Yeah,
And also
maybe
difficult
2.
to comprehend. No, but the supernatural fandom is so large. It's actually wonderful when you discover a rare pair that is not celebrated still. For example, that one time that somebody proposed Amara and Billy. And I started getting hot flashes.
So true.
So true. That one's a good one.
All right, we do have to make it through this episode. I didn't know
true.
anything about it coming in, but I
Why?
guess if you asked me, I could have guessed that this is the one with the soul fisting. But
Yeah. It's pretty obvious that it's
nothing
coming.
that's related to the words 607 Family Matters in my head.
Yeah, but you know about stuff. I feel like we should maybe redefine what we mean when we say, "What did you know about this episode?" Before going in.
it's
Not being
things-
specifically about the episode, but more of what things in the episode were you already familiar with before you watched it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know a lot of these major plot
Events.
points. I didn't know that Samuel was working for Crowley. I did know that
I did
Crowley
know
had
that,
a
in
handle on
fairness to me.
Sam's soul in some way because he
I did not know that.
dangled it in front of him in 610 or something. I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were gonna get the alpha vampire this episode. Or that Samuel was looking for purgatory. So I know I just talked a big game at the beginning of this episode about how I know all the major plot points, but I didn't know these ones.
I know about Samuel looking for... I mean, do you know what he's looking for in purgatory? Or should I not spoil that?
Well, Crowley and Cass wanted to just eat all the souls so that Cass could
So he's looking for the souls of the people in purgatory, of the monsters, because that is a huge amount of untapped energy is kind of the vibe. They're fracking. And I know that they were looking for a lot of souls. I thought the finding purgatory was just a side effect. I did not know that it comes in this early in this season as the main thing that they're doing, which is pretty surprising to me. I think this episode is actually incredibly fast paced. So many things happen in it, and nothing is ever set to linger. I'm assuming next episode we will linger on some stuff that happens in this one. Oh, and also, just to preface, I do like this episode, and I like the relationship dynamics it proposes, and I kind of wish Sam remained soulless or something. Because their relationship when Sam is soulless is so wonderful, because Dean imposes his shit, and Sam makes a decision, yes or no, and the decision is not guided by guilt or whatever. It's guided by okay, this is the logical thing to do. And I appreciate that. Or this is the thing that I would do in a way where I'm sticking with my values, which I do think is also wonderful. That he can stick to his values without feeling guilt at every single facet of his life. Go Sam. But he does get his soul back and will be miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Sorry,
understand
Sam.
that Sam's soul is in hell being tortured to hell and back right now. So, like, it's a complex issue. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Start the episode. We get completely the same road so far as we did last episode, except for like the last scene in the road so far, which made me go like, am I watching the wrong episode? Did they repeat the episode? But they didn't. It's just the exact fucking same. But when we start the episode now, we start with Sam POV, and he is like waking up. And he's like blinking his eyes open. It starts off blurry. Things start getting into focus. And then it's Cass like peering over at him. He's like slightly bent down to see Sam eye to eye because Sam is in fact tied up to a chair. And, you know, his face is still bloody. Dean is like on the other side of the room watching this checkup, I suppose.
And Sam's doing major puppy dog eyes like this entire scene, and I don't know why.
Full disclosure, I did not knit during this part of the episode. I did it later. There's so much that happens in this episode. At some point, I was just like, oh, I think I can knit now because it's about to end. And it literally wasn't. It kept on fucking going. But yeah. What were you saying? Sam looked puppy dog.
Sam was doing heavy
normal.
puppy dog eyes.
I think he looked normal.
Yeah, maybe I just had COVID or something.
Yeah, maybe you had COVID. But Cass
I do think that it was strategic because he was trying the whole like play on Dean's sentiment for Sam before he was like, fuck it, I just undid my hands from the rope.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I do think it is so interesting to me trying to figure out what Sam is doing here because like, I do think he's being sincere, but sincere is like, there are different ways to be sincere, you know? Like, when he is here and he is telling Dean, like, no, you like, please let me out. Like, you have got to, you can't leave me here. He is being sincere. Like, if that worked out, he would have pushed through with that. But because it didn't work out, like, he became like, he approached it in a different way. And that is also sincere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's trying to be insincere specifically. Just that there's different situations and there's different ways of acting in different situations. Love Sam.
Love Sam.
Yeah. But yeah, Cass is asking, like, are you feverish? Are you speaking in tongues? Is he speaking in tongues? And speaking in tongues is an actual, that's an actual term, which is something I discovered only semi-recently. Anyway, Dean acts incredibly tense and, like, mad this entire portion of the episode and also the entire episode, I think, until towards the end. I would say it's a combo for me. It's both like, I understand why he's feeling this way, and then the other side is like, he also did act this way in other situations where I don't understand it. And so now what it feels like is he's allowed to feel this way. He's allowed to act like how he's always acted because now it's justified, which is not a particularly good feeling for a watcher of a show. Right? Would you say that?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, okay. So, like, Dean is acting like how he did with Ruby and how he did when he put Sam in that fucking panic room, which Sam does mention later. Like,
yes.
No, it's Dean. You're not gonna put me in the panic room. And I love it. No, I don't. I don't actually love it. It's a disconcerting thing to watch. To have it but like not in a bad way, I think. Like, it's disconcerting in a way that makes you think deeper about like how you interact with this aspect of Dean Winchester, and like how he has what he believes to be a righteous anger. And the thing is, like, even when it's not righteous, he still deems it to be righteous. So when he deems it to be righteous and it is righteous, what does that mean? You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so Dean's like shouting at Sam, like, no, I'm not going to talk. Like, he does this thing where he doesn't really talk to Sam. He's just talking to Sam through Cass, or like he's talking to Sam like he is as suspect that they're interrogating, where there's a lot of talking to Cass as if Sam isn't there. Which does suck, I believe. But also, again, previously mentioned stuff. Cass asks, like, how much sleep do you get? And Sam says, no, I don't do that. And Dean asks, like, did it never occur to you that something's off about that? And Sam just goes, well, of course it did. I just didn't tell you. Duh. So true. And Cass asks the age-old question, how are you feeling? And Sam goes, my nose is broken. And Cass says, no, that's a physical sensation. What are you feeling? And Sam goes, I think. And Cass goes, no. What are you feeling? And Sam goes, I don't know. Normal therapy session for fucking real. Cass rides up his arm. Cass rides up his sleeve. And he has his arm out. He also looks incredibly hot this episode. This is unrelated to the fist thing, but like there is a scene later where like he's standing near Dean, and then every time he turns to Sam, he doesn't turn his entire body, he just turns his head, and it's like an incredibly fun look for him. Like he's doing a very sexy back turn, half back turn or something. So true. Anyway, he fists Sam, and he removes his belt. Is it his belt? It is his belt, right? He removes his belt.
Yeah.
And then he shoves the belt onto Sam's mouth so that like Sam can bite into it. Crazy, by the way. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then he goes like, you should go somewhere that's soothing in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love is
He
real.
inserts his damn arm into this guy. And Sam is like screaming, crying. Well, he's just screaming. Let's not he's screaming. He is actually in pain. And as Cass, takes out his arm, Dean asks, like, did you find anything? And Cass, like, walks around a little bit. He morosely goes, no. Like, very ominous, very nothing as well. And Dean is like, oh, that's amazing, right? Like, it's good news. And Cass goes, no. Physically, he's perfectly healthy. But his soul, it's gone. Honestly, it's so amusing. Did you find anything? No. I think it's so fun. Like, it's such a TV show way to have this conversation.
It is.
But I love a TV show. So it's fine.
Cass explains that Sam's soul is probably still in the cage, and Dean asks if he's even still Sam, and of course Cass goes, well, you pose an interesting philosophical question. And Dean just demands Cass go get Sam's soul right away, and Cass says, I just don't think it's possible. I don't think I can do it. He knows from experience.
It is actually so fucking funny, all of the scenes where Cass is like, Sam, do you really not remember anything?
Yeah, you promise you don't remember anything? Okay, great.
So fucking funny.
Yeah, I still don't know the specifics of the Crowley cast getting Sam and Samuel out, situation, but I do know that Cass got Sam, so he also did the fuck up. Sam starts asking Dean to untie him, and Dean's just like, no, I'm not even gonna let you out of this room. And Sam says that he's not some psycho. I didn't want you to get hurt. I was just trying to stop the vamps. Which I think, at least from a fucking DSM perspective, does not preclude him from being some psycho. But yeah, they're going off of the pop culture definition or whatever. And I think this is so cool. I love hearing about the logic behind Soulless Sam's actions. I don't know. It's neat. I like it.
The thing is, like, I understand, like, what he's saying here, like, I understand. And I think if it was in some situation where he either insists Dean do it, in like a, Dean, I'm trying to tell you how to do it. And like, Dean, Mr. I need to sacrifice myself for the world or something. He would have done it. Like, the violation is not exactly in that Sam wanted it to be the case where he wanted to use Dean as some sort of in. It's that he did it without Dean's consent. Like, that's the issue. And I do find fascinating that they propose an idea later on that, like, because if Sam wanted to, he could have become the vampire. He could have set himself out as like, oh, bite me, you know.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, but later on, we get the proposal of an idea that because Sam is soulless, it would be harder for him to combat like the vampire instincts or whatever.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like a fascinating touch to put in here, where they ask this question of, because they keep bringing up the Dean became a vampire, obviously because it's fundamental to Dean scribes. They're like answering it bit by bit on like, okay, so why didn't Sam do this instead? Okay, so why did Sam actually do it? And could it have been done other ways? And the answer so far is not in the way where Sam can do it, which is, I think, is fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he goes, sorry, it won't ever happen again.
My bad.
It's so funny. I love him.
Won't happen
Please
again.
let me go. Whoopsie.
No, he's iconic. No, the thing is, I do love him Soulless, and I think it's such a refreshing thing to see. Like, I understand he also doesn't experience happiness, and that can be like a fundamental part of the human experience. And I think for me, watching Sam, I do want him to be happy sometimes. But like only sometimes. So now I'm completely fine.
Just with all the Winchester guilt complexes, it's just nice to have somebody who doesn't experience any of that.
Sam is now a person of facts and logic. Oh my god, he's Republican.
Yep. And also, throughout this scene, he's been sort of like untying his hands from the rope behind him.
Yeah, but like nobody's noticing or anything.
Sees.
He's doing it rather well. I think at this point he has already untied himself.
Yeah, no, I think
we see
you're
him
right.
trying to attempt it like earlier. And like when he stands up, there's no like further movement. He just stands up and he's like, it's untied.
It's a me. Sam.
No, he literally does say it's a me.
So Dean isn't having any of this and says that he's just gonna keep Sam locked up forever. Sam tries again, like the whole like, I get it, I was wrong, but I'm trying to get right. It's still me. And it doesn't work. And Sam just sighs and stands up.
And he goes, I didn't want it to come to this. So true. So iconic.
He's free. He's fine. There's still blood on his face. He's very tall. And he goes, you're not going to hold me, Dean. Tall.
Yeah.
Not here. Not in a panic room. Not anywhere. Not in a panic room. I did cheer and clap.
Yeah, they do a good job of keeping Sam, like, not exactly morally ambiguous, but, like, not bad. And I do think there is, like, a common thought in fandom that, like, oh, when Jack becomes soulless, he's, like, normal schnormo minus some stuff. But for some reason, when Sam became soulless, he magically turned evil. But, like, now that we're here, Sam is not magically evil. He's
he's fine.
He's literally fine. And I don't know, it's such a fascinating thing to see. Like, maybe it's also the experience of going through it, discussing it week by week, Sam's experiences prior to season 6.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, my love for Sam right now is not because, like, I think he's evil. I think it's because he's well-adjusted.
Yeah.
Which is truly
he's
an
the
indictment
most mentally
of Sam's.
healthy he's been in this whole show.
What an indictment
Except for the
of
part where his
Sam's
soul's
character.
being tortured, but we're not seeing that.
Yeah, well.
He tells Dean, you're stuck with the Soulless guy, so you might as well work with me. Dean's just like, okay, fuck off, sure, but I'll be watching every move you make. And then he says, Cass, clean him up. Which
I know.
I had
And
such
Cass
a visceral
does.
reaction to, but I don't know why.
No, it's the attack dog, the Castiel, this Winchester's attack dog vibe is the vibe. And I think that's what does it. It's just such a fascinating dynamic. Season 6, baby. Season 6.
Yeah. He doesn't gaff about Cass's civil war, as is made clear later in the episode.
Yeah.
I do like how Weekend at Bobby's and, like, sort of Cass's thing are both sort of
About
build-ups
how the
to
Winchesters.
620 about how Dean is self-absorbed. Like, it feels like they're building the foundation to sort of justify Cass not telling Sam and Dean about the plan with Crowley by doing the Dean is so selfish thing early on in the season.
No. I think it's pointing to a different direction, that one.
Oh, okay.
I think, like, we will have confrontations in this season where people are like an angel will come on Earth and be like, D. Winchester, you're so fucking annoying. And how dare you disrespect Cass like that? Like, he's our mighty leader. And you're treating him like your lapdog, which he is.
Yeah.
Not even a lapdog. He's not on his lap.
Yeah. Dean doesn't pet him or give him treats.
Yeah. He pets him after he doesn't even pet him after he attacks. Like, I think by the time we get to 620, and I also may be completely misremembering due to previously mentioned afflictions, I think by that point we are on Dean's side. Like, we understand why Cass is doing it. But, like, at that point, it looks so egregious on Cass's side. And that's why I think 620 works. Because, like, you go outside of it, it's so egregious on Cass's side. Then you go to Cass's perspective and it's like...
He's so sad and gay, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can empathize because he's so sad and gay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's the Cass as Dean Winchester's attack dog thing.
Yeah.
It's also, I think, just the establishing that Dean does not care about Sam in this form even further thing.
Yeah. I love how earlier I was being completely generous by going, he's the Winchester's attack dog. It's literally Sam v. Dean right now.
Yeah.
And Dean is winning. Like, it's crazy. Well, Sam is winning, but Dean has won Cass over. Do you think if they had a battle of, like, Sam was like, Cass, heal me. And Dean was like, no, Cass. Dean is gonna win, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's crazy. They do share a more profound bond, quote unquote. And he wasn't gonna mention it.
And, okay, they do this effect when Cass kills Sam. I don't know what this is. Okay, so he goes over, he touches Sam's face, Sastiel win. And then Sam, like, groans like he's in pain, and he's so in pain that his head goes all the way down.
Yeah,
and then he flips his
out.
beautiful hair up as his
To
head
reveal
comes
his
back
clean
up,
face.
and it's clean.
Yeah.
Healing has never hurt before, right?
I don't know. When are the times we have seen Cass heal stuff?
We saw Cass heal Dean's face in Swan Song.
No, yeah. He just boops him clean completely. But I think further on in the show, there is a more like stuff is mending now aspect of healing that happens. Although I would say at this point it should be more aligned with Cass's powers in season 5 because he's still locked and loaded at this point. I think like in the future seasons, like in season 12, there's the one iconic scene where he heals Dean's arm, and then in season 15, the healing of the hand.
That one?
Yeah, the one where he hovers over both of them, and it's like it's mending and it's like slow.
Yeah.
But they're just trying to do romantic shit with that one. That's why it was like that. Unbelievable that they did that fucking audience whatever. What's it called?
Oh, the survey. What is it called?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, that one. Unbelievable.
Consumer...
No.
Market research.
Yeah, they did the market research already by that point. So they were trying to do romantic shit with that one. Crazy. And that one, the other one was in season 15. So even more so. Well, that's crazy. Who even give a fuck? Apparently me. I'm so... It makes me feel every emotion all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. November 5 and 19. And also the Lover That Date got to me this year. I must admit.
Sorry to Sastielers that this was literally your big soul fisting moment, but not that much
and Gray
Sastiel
is
talk
literally
has happened.
a Destieler.
Yeah, I'll try better next time, Sastielers. So they decide that they need to figure out who got Sam out so that they can figure out what happened to his soul. And Cass is just like, I have no idea who it could be. Wow.
He's also just such a bad actor. Like, maybe it's because we know. Like, if you didn't know.
We know. Even though I know, I couldn't really tell that he was being a bad actor. So I don't think he was.
I think I can tell when he was like, Sam, do you really not remember? Tucks his hair behind his ear. Like... What is this? I mean, he doesn't, but like his voice makes it sound like he's like tucking his hair behind his ear.
Yeah. But yeah, he just woke up in a field and that's all he knows. Ugh, slay. It's nice that Cass didn't make him dig himself out of a hole in the ground.
That's a Dean Winchester special. He was trying to fuck even back then.
Well, I was gonna say it's because he cares about Sam, but okay.
Yeah, no, he loves a dirty man. And that's why he was like, Dean, you're gonna dig yourself out of this hole.
Well, I feel like the main Cass Sam field thing that I think about is the cut scene from the future where Sam's running through a field. And... yeah.
Cass
maybe he just associates Sam with...
out, and Dean is like...
Dean is kneeling before him. He's running through a field. Why is he kneeling?
Cass is such a fucking unserious fucking character. I can't believe they didn't do that. It's because of that market research. It failed to give us that scene.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe Rachel Collins just didn't want to shave his chest, and they were like, this scene can't work without Cass being shirtless. We have to scrap the whole thing now.
Literally.
Yeah. But, okay, I do think the Sam running through a field thing is nice. He knows that Sam likes to jog, and he likes the idea of Sam having freedom. And maybe he likes resurrecting Sam in wide open spaces for the same reason.
That is such a reach as I have never heard before. It's so nice.
Within the text, Sam running through a field, I think, is meant to represent, like, joy and freedom. Though, like, that's not a reach. It's just how much sentimental attachment I place on Cass's thought of that image that is the reach.
No, it is actually hilarious that for Cass, he's like, oh, my main desire for Sam is to be happy and free, and my main desire for Dean is to be in love with me and worship me. Like, incredibly fucking funny.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Their only clue is that Samuel was also resurrected, so maybe they should ask him about shit.
Yeah, they go to the, like, Campbell compound. And it looks like a combination of that one episode. What's that episode where they go to the religious place where they have
99 Problems?
Yeah. This place looks like a mix between the encampment in 99 Problems and Future Dean, like in
the
end verse. Yeah.
We've also seen this compound before, though.
Yeah, but, like, I think now we see, like, the gate. We see, like,
no, we saw the gate before. Well, you didn't because you were knitting. I saw the gate before. And also you did because you've watched this show many, many times.
No, what I just mean is that it's such a fascinating look to a place where, like, oh, there's hunters here, so it needs to be dark and gloomy. Like, they're still in the same world that all the other scenes in this episode are set in.
Yeah, like, we have invented light bulbs that are more than 20 watts.
Like, is it a requirement that you need to be at a grimy place? I feel like maybe it shouldn't be. Like, maybe we should still respect OSHA standards as we proceed into our hunter day-to-day life. And I think it's such a fascinating idea to collect a incredibly religious compound to the Campbell compound. You know what I mean? Like in 99 Problems. Yeah, like, and they have a religious leader too. And Dean points it out later that Samuel is their, what's that, John Wayne? Is that true?
I don't remember. Did he say that?
Let's not. Control F. John. Yeah. Convinced that you're John Wayne.
Wait, is that that's not a cult leader, is it?
No. Like, I just mean, like, they think he's like John Wayne is like an action hero. And so, like, a very, like, the point Dean is making here is that they think you're their, like, action man who knows everything and everything will work out for. And that does imply a certain kind of, like, reliance on him in, like, a spiritual way, in a moral way even, that, like, oh, we can follow Samuel's instructions because it'll work out because it's him. And, like, that does, like, lean towards a religious or cultish, as you said, like, behavior in the place. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a fascinating dot to connect.
I guess I don't really see that much in their behavior, but maybe I'm just missing things.
Yeah, like, I think because they're also, like, quote-unquote family, although it doesn't really feel like that when you're in there. Like, Dean does make a semi-suggestive turn of phrase to Gwen, which was pretty weird.
Yeah.
So it could just be the family aspect of this is our grandfather. It could also just be that there seems to really be, like, a hierarchy in hunting life that people respect, which is fascinating. And Dean really is, like, the reason why Dean and Samuel clash is because they're just like each other, which is, I think, also fascinating to see. Like, the real reason why they clash is because Samuel asks Dean to follow him, to follow his instructions, and Dean can't. And the way Dean responds to this is he stops the car with Sam and tells Sam, I'm driving the bus. Like, it's a fascinating thing to see. They go in. We also see like this whole situation where there's like a workroom, like a workshop, I think. And all people are doing is like reloading their guns and preparing weapons. It is an imposing look, but Sam comes in and Christian greets him. It's so very obvious that like Sam and him are like buddies. And then Christian turns to Dean and he's like, Dean. Love that. He's like, Sam, what's up, man? Hi, Dean. He leads them to Samuel. So they go into Samuel's place. They start trying to interview Samuel. And like as they enter, and it's just Sam and Dean. But as they enter, Samuel like shoves a notebook / something into his drawers. And it's obvious that he's like being secretive. And like later on, they keep this going. Every time Sam or Dean show up to talk to him, he's always trying to hide something. So just keep a mind palace like Sherlock, man.
Or a mind attic like the superior Sherlock of CBS Elementary.
Samuel is like, I told you everything already about the night I came back. And Dean says, yeah, but you gotta recap it for our wingman here. And
love it.
Like Samuel turns around and Cass is there. And he's just like standing semi-ominously in the background. And Samuel turns to him and goes, oh, this is Castiel. You're scrawnier than I've... Like, okay, he goes, so this is Castiel. And we go to Cass's face. And Cass, like, as I've said, nods sagely, but also with a little self-satisfied smirk. And... yeah, Samuel goes, you're scrawnier than I pictured. And Cass goes...
why are they having sex? Why is this happening?
Yeah. Also, we get a lot of Dean reaction shots and absolutely no Sam reaction shots. It's hilarious. Like, what is this? Like, later on when Cass goes, of course, your problems are always my priority. We only get of Dean and Samuel... face reaction shot. Like Sam is also in this episode. Yeah. Anyway, Cass goes, this is a vessel. My true form is approximately the size of your Chrysler building. And Dean, like, it's like, all right, like, quit bragging. What is wrong with him? And they start interviewing Samuel. Is Sastiel? They're queerbaiting at this point. It's not retro. It's called queerbaiting. But also, it's queerbaiting. Is it queerbaiting if it's real? It is. It's extra queerbaiting if it's extra real. Samuel gets what he calls an angel cavity search from Cass. And as he screams... Christian actually comes in to inspect what's happening, but Samuel makes him go out. And like, they're really trying to impose this perspective of Christian as like a looming figure, like always watching. And then later on, we find out the twist, quote unquote, which is that he's actually a demon this whole time, which I did think was... okay, like it's not like fine, but also
though, like they work with salt and holy water.
Yeah, they work with salt and holy water, and I'm assuming this entire place is demon trapped to hell and back.
Yeah,
like why would it not?
I also assume that they test people at the gates.
Yeah,
because of how high their security is.
Because of the fact that there's a fucking gate. Yeah. It's not just him too. There are many people who are demons.
Yeah.
Like, Christian is just the only one we meet, but there's many others too. And it's like, think about your security, man. Or perhaps they did
were
not...
all the security, so they got fake salt on everyone.
No. Like, maybe... Samuel specifically was particularly lax on the demon shit because he is working with demons.
True.
So that could be a possibility. But I was also surprised that Cass was just able to go in there. Like, they're aware of angels. I mean, Sam did have this perspective earlier in the season where it's like, oh, the angels have left us alone because they have better stuff to do, like take care of people or something.
Yeah.
Now that the apocalypse is done, which is factually untrue, but it could also be a reason why Sam would not have told Samuel about angel shit and how to repel angels and stuff. Cass says that like his soul is intact, and Samuel's like, of course it is. Why would it not be? And then he realizes that Sam's soul, well, as Sam puts it, whatever dragged me out, ... left a piece behind.
Yeah.
Trailer ass line. They're going to fucking use that in the road so far.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Whatever dragged me out, it left a piece behind. And Samuel doesn't really act surprised when he says that he kind of already knew because of how Sam has been acting and all that crap. And then Cass, like, he looks up, and I think if we were in Cass's perspective, we would hear angel radio, but we're not. So he just looks up, and then he goes, I have to go. And Dean's like, oh, I can't believe you're leaving. And Cass is like, yeah, well, I'm in the middle of a civil war. And Dean says, you better tear up the attic, find something to help Sam. And Cass says, of course, your problems always come first.
Slay.
Love him. Love him. And we get a very quick reaction shot from Dean and a very long reaction shot from Samuel. Love that as well.
Yeah.
What this guy be doing? Guy B, what's up with you? What's happening here?
I think he
What are the
Cass to fuck
implications?
that old man.
Literally. And yeah, he goes, I'll be in touch, and then he disappears. And Sam asks, like, what's with all of the people outside?
Well,
and he
first
figures out
Samuel says, would have asked him to stick around for a beer. I think he wants to fuck that guy.
Is it so true? I think this statement deserves a so true. Well, so true.
Thank you.
But Sam puts together that they have found the alpha vamp and that they have tracked him down and all that. And Dean kind of like starts getting uneasy, and Samuel's like, oh, you want to come with us? And Dean's like, well, yeah. And Samuel says like, I don't want you to because I don't trust you. I mean, it's not this direct, but this is the summary of the conversation. But Dean eventually says like, okay, I'll follow your lead. I'll be a obedient guy, and I won't impose my own tactics or whatever. I just want to be there when it goes down.
Also, okay, when Dean goes, so you don't trust me, Samuel goes, no, I just don't know you. And there's little bits of sad piano music.
No, they're really trying to do like their family. It's such an incredibly hilarious thing. Like, they're not family, but at the end of the day, they're still family, which is the conclusion of this episode. That is what the episode ends with.
Yeah. Love
Incredibly
it.
Hilarious.
Love it.
Love it. And like it ends with Dean going like, I'll follow your lead. I trust you. And then it cuts to outside where he goes, I don't trust him. He's hiding something.
And if you weren't Robo Sam, you'd feel it too.
I did think that part was like a little bit charming. Like Dean being able to talk about it like in a...
Yeah. What I liked about it was how quickly he jumps to Sam being his confidant again. Despite, and Sam being, as he puts it, Robo Sam.
Yeah. Like, there is something so wonderful to me about the fact that later on, he confronts Sam. And, like, we already saw him confront Sam before. Or at least attempt to, in a way. When he was like, oh, so you knew you know about the alpha vampire. Like, you knew about it before we were talking about it. Do you remember that one?
The alpha shapeshifter?
Oh, no, the alpha. The shapeshifter. Yeah.
Yeah.
The alpha. he tried to do the confrontation with the alpha shapeshifter, and later on with like you always have my back, right? Like all that shit. And it's always blown up in his face when he does actually confront Sam. Like, did you freeze there so that I can become a vampire? And Sam like completely lies to his face. But like he still does it later when he was like, I know you took that guy away. Sam could have been like, you're seeing things, dude. Which I think he could like, Dean would fucking punch him again, but like he could have done it. But I don't know. I found it so charming that he thought he could do that and approach it in the way that he is approaching it now, which is that, no, Sam, like, you're missing this emotional cue.
I think, I like the fact that he adjusts to their new dynamic with this
very quickly,
pretty easily.
Yeah.
In a way that seems like it's working just fine.
I think it's working because they're back to like the dynamic of like an older brother teaching his kid, like as in literal kid brother, like, no, when people act like that, this is what they mean. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's like, back to being like,
you think that's why Dean's
I think that's why it's working for Dean. Not particularly why he's accepting, but I think this is a dynamic that is very easy for him to fall into because it's like he's instructing Sam about something. And in this case, he's instructing Sam how to read people or how to morally gauge situations, which is something that you do to a child, you know? Like, you tell a child, like, when people do that, that's a bad thing. You know, like, you shouldn't steal. That's bad. When people lie to you, that means they're not trustworthy. Like, you know, those are stuff that you teach a little child. And like, I do think there is an aspect of that appeals to Dean. Like, I'm teaching Sam like he's a little child again, and I'm telling him like, oh, it's sketchy when people tell you that they kill someone, but they actually just hid them to torture them. Like, you know.
And I mean, in 601, when Sam tells Dean that they should stick together and hunt together more, he does sort of say, like, it's because you, like, ran in there to try to save those people, even though it was too late. Like, we need somebody with sort of your moral compass around. So, starting from that, like, he knew something was up, and he did want Dean there to fulfill this sort of role.
That's the thing. Like, Sam is conducive to it. Like, if he wasn't, it would just be the same situation as it was with, again, Ruby and the demon blood and stuff. But because Sam is conducive to it in a way that is not guilt-ridden, that's why it works. Like, it's a fun thing to watch. No, fun is a nebulous thing. But, you know, it's a nebulously fun thing to watch.
Yeah.
Love the word nebulous.
Love the word nebulous also. Sam says it's weird that you don't trust him because he's family.
He's family.
And later there's a point where he's like, wait, but what do you mean? Why would he do that? He's our grandfather. And I think that's so interesting.
No, we have discussed this before, right?
We
have about how
like before.
Like the values that he holds. He's misinterpreting why he holds them, which is so fun. I love it. So fun.
It is very fun.
I do think it's fascinating the way Dean tries to communicate it to him. Like, no, you think that. But does he? Does he value that you're his family? He's not dad, which is also
insane. Literally the most Winchester thing to say.
He's not a Winchester, he's a Campbell.
But yeah, because, okay, like, what we have right now is Sam just trusts family. But in a way where he seems to trust Samuel over Dean, or at least before this he did. So I wonder why that is. Because I feel like he got to him first.
I mean, I think it could be that he got to him first. But also, I don't think that necessarily he trusts Samuel over Dean. Because, like, Dean didn't demand that, like, you tell me. And after Dean demanded it, he followed. Maybe
It's true.
he's like going by the law of, you know how like I just finished taking a contract and obligations
law.
class.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is this one case where they were like, part of the, legal code of the fucking civil code of the Philippines is that contracts above 500 pesos involving that amount of money needs to be written down. And so one case was like, oh, you can't demand that we pay you 14,000 pesos because you didn't write it down. And then the court was like, well, they said that you have to write it down, but it didn't say that you need to write it down to litigate. So it's fine. We can still litigate. Even if you didn't write it down. That's what Sam is doing. He's like, well, wait, like, didn't necessarily say that I have to tell him, and that if I don't tell him, it's bad, so I can just still not tell him. Like, so true, Sam. And only when Dean goes like, no, you have to tell me 100%, no exceptions. That's the only time Sam started cooperating in the way Dean thought they were already cooperating prior.
Yeah, that tracks. I guess I'm also curious about Sam's motivations around hunting and finding the alpha vampire. Like, is that just because Samuel told him to, or is one of his, like, remaining instincts or values after leaving still, I should hunt? And if so, like, where's that coming from? Like, saving people, or just muscle memory, or like what?
What he kept on saying was he's good at it.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's it.
Him.
It's just like, it's meaningful. It's meaningful to him right now, even though that's not really how he navigates. Like, meaning is not necessarily how he navigates his life as of now. But it is still meaningful to him just by the mere fact that he does it well and he does it better than other people, and he thinks he does it better than other people right now, specifically because it doesn't mean anything to him. Which like, he thinks he's good at it because he's soulless. Yeah. So like, win-win for him from his perspective, I would say.
And his desire to be good at hunting over, because I guess what Dean never told him, don't let me get turned into a vampire.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out the calculations he did there.
No, like, he just thinks that, like, between getting to the alpha vamp and this, the getting to the alpha vamp is harder to do and more important. Like, we can't turn Dean back.
Yeah.
We just need to get to the alpha vamp.
Yeah, makes sense. Dean thinks that Samuel's connected to Sam missing his soul in some way.
Yeah.
So he decides that he's gonna sneak into Samuel's office and try to get some shit. So he breaks in, but Christian's just in a hallway being like,
he literally
why are you here?
Yeah.
And Dean says he's trying to make a private phone call. And when Christian asks to who, Dean says, your wife. Let her know I'm not going to make it over tonight. And then, like, that's supposed to be cool and fun, but then later Christian's like, and your girlfriend's a slut. And Dean's like, I'm going to kill you. And like, Dean was right both times.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like a, very generic, using like the sexualization of the woman that is a partner of this person as a way to exert dominance or whatever. I don't know. People have been doing it for so long. It's there's a lot to say about it.
Yeah. Yeah. There sure is. They just threaten each other a bit, and Christian sort of implies that he might accidentally kill Dean during the vampire hunt. No, it is so funny that, like, Christian goes, accidents happen, and Dean replies, oh, don't worry, man, I got your back. Like, wonderful exchange that is. Like, go, Dean. Yeah. Love it. But yeah, so he has to go and he doesn't get any information.
Yeah. They're all in this, like, it feels like the end is what it feels like, right? Like the suicide mission in the end.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, it works is the difference. So they go in and Samuel relegates Dean to quote unquote the back. Like, he's just like gonna hang back here and like sweep out if there's any vampires that like run off while they attack the place. And Dean like makes a face, and he is placed with Gwen here. Dean makes a face, and like Samuel goes like, "Oh, is there a problem, Dean?" And Dean goes like, "No, sir." And then Gwen goes, "Oh, so you're going to place me with the reject?" And I found this completely amusing, like so fun.
Yeah.
And she does apologize later. She says like, "Sorry about the reject thing." And Dean says, "I've been called worse, just like Will Wood." Gwen says that like, "Oh, I think what's happening is that Samuel keeps on relegating me for stuff because I remind him of his daughter," which is like so fucking corny, annoying, and stupid. Like, we have two women. They're just like each other. Like, come on.
Yeah, they're not similar in personality.
They're not similar
We've met
at all.
Mary.
Yeah.
And they don't particularly look like each other either.
Yeah. And like, you know, it's like if she was trying to get out of the life, sure, but like, I don't know. I feel like there must be aspects of Mary that are like, I'm grown enough to do this, and that manifests in like wanting to be more independent in hunting. But like, I don't know. It's just a whole situation. Dean says like, "Well, it's because you speak your mind." The fuck?
No, he wasn't saying, well, it's because you just speak your mind. He went like, "Oh, what you just said there was really blunt," was his point.
Oh, wild.
He's like, "Oh, well, you just speak
don't.
your mind," is how he put it.
No, I thought it was like, "Well, you just speak your mind." I was like,
No.
Yeah, that's why you're similar. Okay, Slay K. Does that completely negate what I was saying earlier?
About what?
About Mary and Gwen? No. Because I thought
No.
that this was the thesis. Okay, well, I'll figure out if that's true in that. Sorry, I do trust you, just like Dean Winchester and Samuel Campbell.
So you don't.
No, I don't trust you. They like kill a vamp that's running off.
They
Specifically,
is putting it generously.
Specifically, it attacks Gwen, and then like Dean gets the vamp, but then like gets pushed to the ground, and gets pushed to a tree, and as he's about to be bitten, he pushes the guy to the side, and then like Gwen. Like, not willingly.
He doesn't push the guy to the side.
Like,
he's about to get got. The vampire's over him. And then there's a spray of blood because Gwen came up behind the vampire and chopped its head off.
And, like, it is a very fun shot of, like, the beheaded vampire, like, on Dean's shoulder as Dean tries to shove it off. And there is, like, a very concerted effort from Dean to wipe away the blood near his mouth and his face, which I did appreciate that acting choice, because when that blood spray hit his face, my first immediate thought was like, "Oh no, the vampire blood," which like I love that. Dean is like, "Oh, thanks." And then,
he doesn't say anything. She says, "You're welcome."
You're welcome.
And then offers her
so
hand
true?
To pull him up, and he doesn't say anything. And he doesn't take her
He
hand.
just wipes his face. Yeah. But then he hears like gunshots away, and then he runs towards there, and it's like the scene at the end where there's like a massacre up front, but now it's a combination of vampires and hunters, and then Dean hears like commotions, and he goes to see, and it's Samuel like shoving in the alpha vamp into a van, and Sam is also there.
Why was there a woman who was yelling Dean's name in the window? Who was that?
It was like a hunter.
Okay.
And then
Like
she
saw him.
Yeah, like,
Got it.
Dean!
Yeah.
And then gets eaten by the vampire. Gets killed, even. As they head out, like, Dean runs back. And Gwen starts trying to tell him, like, dude, we were supposed to stay here. Where did you go? But then Samuel comes in and asks, like, has there been any trouble? And Gwen says, like, oh, we just, we killed the runner. It's fine. And, like, Dean is like, oh, she knows how to play the game, I suppose. And, like, she didn't reveal me even though I was mean to her. Does Dean say thank you now?
No.
He just gives a meaningful look.
Sure. I don't think he even did that.
Yeah. We gave a meaningful look, but he didn't.
Wait, maybe I missed this, but you said that Dean asked where the vampire went and Samuel said they already burned it.
Oh, yeah. Like Samuel says, like, oh, you should just bring marshmallows, which I did think was so funny because he's already in the fire, which, makes it very explicit that they're lying to Dean. In the car, they're like in the Impala, Dean's driving, and then he asks Sam, like, okay, Sam, what the fuck happened? And Sam's like, nothing weird. Like, we just killed the alpha male. And Dean pulls up on the side of the road, and then he walks out, and he's like, you know what? I saw you take the alpha vamp. How is that not weird? And Sam just goes, oh. And Dean goes, oh? What do you mean, oh? And Sam says, you weren't supposed to see that. Samuel's just been doing it, like, catching things, and, like, this vamp specifically, to take them somewhere and grill them for info. And Dean's like, oh, you mean grilling as in torture? Was that his idea? And Sam says, no, it wasn't mine, and I didn't tell you because I think you'd fuck it up because you shoot first and ask questions later, and we need to ask questions.
I'm surprised that Dean's history with torture wasn't brought up here.
Yeah, no, I thought what it is that I think it's going to break you psychologically having to do all that, or knowing that it's happening. Honestly, Sam could have just said, like, I know you're going to say, no, don't do that because you have your reservations. Which, I don't think it's true.
Though. He loves torture.
Like, I don't think it's... Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Supernatural has, like, good torture and bad torture. And if it works, it's good torture. If it doesn't work, like with this alpha vamp, bad torture. Like, wild series of events.
Yeah, and in this case, it's not bad torture because, like, it's bad torture because you're putting other hunters at risk by not killing him. That's what they mean by bad torture.
Yeah, no, it is. Anyway, this is where the family conversation comes up. Because Dean's asks, like, don't you realize that this is shady? And Sam's like, but he's our grandpa.
Yeah.
And Dean says, like, you have no instinct. You're seriously messed up. And Sam goes, thanks. And Dean starts doing this thing where he's like, look, like, nobody's forcing you to work with me, but if we do this, I drive the bus. I call the shots. And you tell me everything, whether you think it's important or not, because you can't tell the difference. And then he goes, oh, you know what? Go with Samuel. Why not? See how that goes. It's up to you. And then our next scene is like Sam going to Samuel. So we think that he did choose Samuel.
I
which
mean,
is
nobody
so
actually thinks that. But they tried to make us think it.
Yeah, but like, it's still a fun thing to do. Like, maybe if this is your first time watching this and like, et cetera, you don't know anything. Like, Sam is a bit of an unpredictable character right now.
For the twist, though.
Yeah, it is. But, like, I think Sam exists in a nebulous space as a character that it very well may happen. Like, he did just help Samuel put that alpha vamp in the van.
Yeah, Sam returns to the Campbell compound. And he tells Samuel, like, oh, me and Dean, I don't think we're working together anymore. And I want to be in 100% on the interrogations because this family is it for me now. But Samuel says,
incredibly
no.
funny.
Samuel says, not until you get your soul back. So, that doesn't work. And Sam's like, okay, fine. So then we see him leave and, like, mess around with some things, like, or whatever.
Like in a car, and then we realize it's like a GPS tracker.
Yeah, it turns out he turned the GPS tracker on one of Samuel's phones.
Yeah.
And then he meets up with Dean in the Impala secretly. And Sam goes, oh, you didn't think I'd come back, at Dean's expression. And Dean goes, I figured 60-40.
Which I do think is also charming. Like, that's fun.
Yeah. I think, just the immediate acceptance that, okay, I guess this is the situation.
Yeah.
And I will just roll with it.
I think there is also perhaps the aspect in Dean where, like, there is no need to hide my apprehensions because, like, it's not like Sam's gonna be hurt more or gonna be hurt less, or like if I tried to hurt Sam by lying to him, you know, like if he tried to hurt Sam, it's not gonna work. And if like he tried to make Sam feel better by hiding his apprehensions, it also doesn't matter. And so let's just be honest. Which, like, they should have just done this from the get-go. Dean, you should have just done this.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
Yeah, when he beat Sam into a pulp at the end of last episode, it was... I mean, he was taking shit out on him. Like, did he not... he didn't think it was actually Sam. Or
I think so.
What was that?
I think so, because that is how he interacts with Sam at the beginning of this episode. Like, this is not Sam.
Mm-hmm. Right. Though, the cast clean him up is still... Yeah, okay, I'm just trying to think about the transition from, like, that very angry, betrayed, or, like, this isn't Sam, I need to kill him thing to, like, this, I think, very healthy relationship dynamic that they have right now. Like,
I think what it is
how do you get there?
I think what it is that Sam is keeping true to his word. Like, Dean told him, you can leave, and then... or you can help me, and then he helps Dean. And, like, the fact that he came back here at this point, like, it must be a sigh of relief for Dean. He could also just feel disarmed in a way. Because, like, he was fully expecting, not fully expecting, but he was, like, 60-40 expecting, as he said, that Sam won't come back. What do you think is the 60?
That he would.
That he would. Is that how the grammar works?
I think that they would have made a joke about it if it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, Sam would have gone, in what way? And Dean would have been like, 40 on you coming back.
Yeah, okay, got it. But, I think it could, like, as I said, I think it could also just be that Dean is, like, a little glad that Sam came back, and that's why he's acting this way.
Yeah. Perhaps. But he was also chill during the Robo-Sam scene that we commented on. And I feel like that was before Sam had proven anything to him.
Yeah, this is true.
Just processed it very quickly.
I don't think it's processing very quickly. I think Dean is excellent at turning specific aspects on and off in terms of what he's thinking about.
Yeah. Right. Sam says that he turned GPS tracking on one of Samuel's phones, and it'll work because he doesn't know anything about technology.
Yeah, he thinks Velcro is magic.
So they go to a warehouse where he's driven. There's dead man's blood smeared around. When they go inside, they have to, like, hide from Christian, who's, like, patrolling the area. But eventually they get over to some room where Samuel's holding the alpha vampire in a cage, and like he's in a wooden chair,
him.
and there's like nails through his feet and hands, just like Jesus.
Literally.
And the torture device, I think, just sends electricity through the nails. It's an
electric chair, yeah.
Very rudimentary. Like, no wonder he got out. Like, you can just break wood. Like, you're putting electricity in the wood, and the wood's supposed to be holding him there.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you think Velcro is magic, I suppose.
I think the devices are set up by Crowley, actually.
Like, what a loser. Don't they torture people for real in hell?
No, they just make them wait in line now.
Oh, true. Yeah. It's because they all broke out of his wooden chair nail contraptions, and he was like, shit. Well,
now they need to line up for the wooden chair.
We can only zap that thing once a day, or else it'll just break entirely. All of those things where it's like, hell, regular torture in hell might seem bad, but what about this emotional pain, or this being bored? And it's like, actually, I do think the actual physical torture is worse. Yeah.
And also, there is emotional pain in being physically tortured, and also there is probably some boredom in getting tortured.
Yeah, and you don't get those things with emotional torture or boredom, so yeah. Samuel's just asking, where is it? Over and over again, and he's not getting anywhere. The alpha vampire, who's honestly so cool. I liked his actor a lot.
After the electricity, he goes, ouch, ouch.
Stop, that hurts.
Owie.
Yeah, so completely flat.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah.
It's really funny. And Samuel's, like, really riled up about this. Yeah. He's like, oh my god, I can't believe this shit. And you know what? I have all the time in the world. I'm just gonna torture you so much. I've got so much torture planned for you.
And the
vampire is completely unaffected.
And he goes like, I also have all the time too. Like, so true.
So true. And Samuel just gets so mad that he throws his machete to the ground and goes to another room.
Literally a temper tantrum.
And then the alpha vampire, who senses Sam and Dean behind the door, goes like, come on out, boys. And they go in cautiously, and he asks, how can I help you? Yeah, Dean does some exposition that the alpha vampire currently has so much dead man's blood in his veins that he can't send out a psychic signal to get all the vampires to come here.
And the alpha vampire goes like, that's true, isn't it, Dean? And Dean acts disarmed by this, as if it isn't completely fucking obvious why that is. Like, of course, Dean, like, you were a vampire. You did see one of the visions. Oh, and also, like, there are moments in this episode where the visions flash for him, which also is quite wonderful. And that is, like, part of the reason why he was able to tell that, like, some stuff is gonna happen or something. Because he recognized it from his psychic bat signal. And the alpha vampire is asking Dean, like, did you enjoy being a vampire? But, like, Dean starts the electricity running. Like, this entire time, he's, like, trying to electrocute the alpha vampire, but, like, completely unfazed. Like, literally the gaff.
Yeah. And also there's, like, times when it cuts to the alpha vampire's really long, sharp
fingernail.
Middle fingernail, which
and
he's
it's
sort of
growing.
Using to scratch the wood of the chair.
Very fun. And the alpha vampire says, when you were first huddled around the fire, I was the thing in the dark. You think you can hurt me? I have all night, boys. And I'm happy to tell you whatever you want to know. And so, like, Sam asks, like, why? Why are you gonna tell us stuff? And he goes, because you're going to be ankle deep in your blood. sucking the marrow from your bones. No, I'll be ankle deep in your blood, sucking the marrow from your bones. Very fun. I think it is very fun to think about, like, an alpha vampire, first of his kind, being the thing that the first Homo sapiens, like, the people who invented fire, were lugging around from. Or, like, hiding from. Like, that is, like, oh, I'm the reason why you have instincts to be afraid of the dark. It's such a fun thing for a monster to say. Like, I enjoyed it so much. Like, when we're recording and I go, oh, I have to change my desk position because I'm scared. It's because I'm scared of the vampire. Like, that's fun.
Yeah. It is fun.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, he's very good at just conveying sort of the, like, being an ancient being sort of thing. Because I feel like a lot of the vampires we see in Supernatural are kind of like nasty snake-like nesting.
But this
creatures.
guy has a certain kind of gravitas to him that we don't really see in any other vampires. Yeah. Like, there is a sense of, like, this guy's royalty, I think, in the vampire world, which is very fun. I think because it's a vampire, like, I think it's a wonderful thing that they chose a vampire for this, because we were just talking about it, right? How, like, they kind of use vampires as stand-in for humans, because they're, like, the closest thing to a human that, like, a monster is in, like, Supernatural. Like, that is the closest connection that they draw, especially in terms of, like, monsters that are recurring very often in the show. And so it is an excellent choice that the alpha that they really showcase is a vampire, because it feels like there's a more even ground. Like, you just have a human being who is extra powerful. It does lend it something, especially because, as we've said before, there is a great relational aspect in terms of the vampire commune. Like, it's about the nest, not about one singular guy. And so having their leader here means something, as opposed to, say, the leader of the shapeshifters, who, like, we don't really understand shapeshifters to be relational or social in that way. So, yeah, good choice. Sam asks, like, well, if you're the first vampire, who made you? And the alpha vampire very, like, mwahaha style goes, well, we all have our mothers. He doesn't say it like that, but he should have. Yeah, they continue asking about, like, what's with all the vampires? Oh, it's because we're going to war. And he points out that Sam has no soul because he smells cold. What is it like to have no soul? Answer my question. And Sam goes, like, no, you answer it first because you're the one in the cage. But he just keeps going. Like, the thing about souls is, if you don't have one, if you have one, of course, you either go to heaven or hell. But, like, what about me? Which implies
Plus the monsters don't have souls.
That they have something that goes somewhere. Because the implication is, if you don't have a soul, you just don't go anywhere. Right?
Well, no.
Like, there's no afterlife. If you have a soul,
you either go to heaven or hell.
Yeah.
And then he says, but his kind goes
so they don't have a soul?
So they don't have a soul.
Ah.
Are witches in purgatory or no? Because Rowena went to hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because as we've mentioned before, witches, like, sell their soul to the demons or something.
Yes.
To the devil.
Yes. So that's different.
Yeah. It takes 17 truly a very long time to get to the purgatory conclusion. Purgatory.
Are there werewolves in purgatory?
Yes.
Or do they only go there if
they
die while they're... Okay, so they just... As soon as they're bitten, they lose their soul.
Yes.
Even though part of the times they're still like
Well,
in control of themselves.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's losing your soul. I think it's your soul turning to something else. Is that because like
but he says if you've got one, you go up or down when you die. So
yeah,
if
but
you
like
go to purgatory, it means you don't have a soul.
Yeah, okay, but like, what's with the empty then?
Yeah, no, I think they added that one later.
No, I just mean like I don't necessarily think it's like you don't have a soul anymore. I think it's like if you have a soul, you go to heaven or hell. If you have something else,
okay,
we don't know where it goes. If your essence is made up of something different other than a soul, it should go somewhere else. Because it's not like they take their body, and if there's no soul and there's no body, then what is it? I understand that's a very reductive, but like, so like there must be something else, is what I'm saying, and something else is what they're discussing.
Aren't they trying to get the souls in purgatory to power Casa?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like a different kind of soul, like a soul that's not the same. I don't know, but anyway.
Okay.
That's why the pushback against like if you don't have a soul, that's why you end up in purgatory.
But you agree that what he's saying right now is that it's just that doesn't end up being true in Supernatural.
What do you mean?
That the sentence, the thing about souls, if you've got one, they're predictable. You die, you go up or down. Where do my kind go? Implies that monsters don't have souls. It's just that ends up being false. Like, it's just a badly written sentence.
I don't think that's true. I think the logic of this sentence is the thing about souls, if you've got one, is towards Sam. It's not towards him. It's not inward. Oh, if you've got one, Sam Winchester, is that it goes to heaven or hell.
If Sam specifically has a soul, it goes to heaven and hell.
Yeah, and like earlier in the conversation, he asks Sam, what does it feel like? And why would he ask that if he doesn't have a soul?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't met a human without a soul, I assume.
Yeah, but...
And also, you can ask someone how something feels if you're also experiencing it. Like, I'm congested. Are you congested? How does it feel?
No, but I am on my side, as I usually am. Like, I think when he goes, like, you die, you go up or down, that is for, like, specific kind of soul. But it's not necessarily saying, like, no soul, where does it go? It's saying, like, different kind of soul, where does it go? Or different kind of essence or something, where does it go?
Okay. Sure. Okay.
What is it called with angels? Oh, it's grace. Yeah. Like the equivalent of a grace to a...
call souls, but the alpha vampire doesn't call a soul.
Yeah, like... There is like a powering up aspect to it, like especially because the way it is interacted with in Supernatural this season is like as energy. Like grace is energy as well. And like one of the reasons why they say that like heaven is powering down is because they don't have enough like grace from angels to keep it running.
Yeah.
And so like I think it makes sense that like if we are to believe that souls are like solar energy, like, you know, they're like another form of energy. Like, I think, I don't think that it's necessarily that different, like the soul of a human being and whatever it is that monsters are made out of essence-wise. If they're going to tap into those as like the same kind of source of energy. Yeah. What is this conversation?
It's just about Supernatural writing a sentence that's slightly unclear.
Yeah.
And also just not having very clear guidelines for their afterlife lore.
Yeah. It's Supernatural's fault and not at all our pedantism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, it takes them so long to get to the word purgatory. Like, the alpha vampire has to be like, are we rusty on our dancing?
Yeah. Though he specifically says, when we freaks die, where do we go?
Oh no, I
is
love
fun.
that though.
It's fun.
Because Dean calls him like freak. Like, enough with the sermon, freak. And then he goes, okay, well, where do we freaks go? Yeah. And like, of course, it's so fun because of the Sam association as well. Like, very fun. Like, and I think the little Rusty on our Dante is so fun because it's Sam who answers. And it's like, has Dean not read Dante? He should have said purgatory and then turned to Sam and goes, I read. It's such a mean thing to make fun of every time it happens.
It was a badly written scene in the first episode it was in.
Okay, it's so true. The alpha vampire goes, it is filled with the soul of every hungry thing like me.
Okay, you're right. He calls them souls too. Whoops.
That ever walked its earth. Now, where is it? That's the mystery because they don't know, and Samuel is trying to find out. And the alpha vampire is saying, like, I don't know where it is, but your grandfather would not take no for an answer. And it's not because what he wants, is because he is being told what to do, which is, earlier we said, like, oh, he's in so much distress. The distress is probably coming from, oh no.
We still don't know what Crowley has hanging over
on him. Probably just send him to hell or something.
Yeah, that'll do it. Samuel shows back up because he literally just went into the next room and Sam and Dean are having a loud ass conversation with the doors completely open with the alpha
As
vampire.
they tend to. They love to do this.
They do love to do it. And yeah, Dean immediately turns on him and goes like, this is fucking stupid. The alpha vampire is gonna get out and kill everybody. And like, I know everybody around you thinks that you're some cool action hero, but you're actually gonna get all of them killed. And then Gwen shows up and cocks a gun.
Like on Campbell's side. Yeah.
Yeah, she's on
Samuel's side.
Yeah. And Dean goes, Gwen, I thought we had something special. Weird. Some random guy goes into the room with the alpha vampire.
Yeah. And he's scared. He's scared.
And the alpha vampire taunts him a bit.
The alpha vampire goes, are you scared? And the guy's like, yeah. And then he turns on the electric chair. Yeah.
And that helps break the chair. The chair's on its last gasp, and the alpha vampire gets out. Good for him. I was really on his side for this entire fight.
Honestly,
he's just cool and charismatic.
It's such a terrifying thing to watch as well. Like, imagining yourself in the situation of that guy. Because, like, this alpha vampire looks so powerful in his stride. Like, literally, like, it's like, okay, time's up or something. He says, it's just like when he gets out of the chair, he like stands up and like just starts removing like the wires, like very efficiently. And like, because the entire time he has been sitting down and it has acted like sort of a throne. It's also elevated a little bit. So like it has become like a throne for him. And so he looks like royalty is the imagery I think that they were trying to do. But then in this moment, it's like, oh, this guy's a fighter, you know? And it is like so cool to watch. Like him just like get out of that cage and the guy turns around to try to get out. And as he turns around, the vampire's there, baby. He's there.
So the Campbells hear this and they all have to start fighting. And within an hour, the dead man's blood is going to be out of the alpha vamp system, and he's going to be able to call every vampire in the world down on them.
Yeah.
So Samuel's like, we have to get him back in the cage, and Dean goes, no,
obviously we can't.
We have to kill him or we're all gonna die. And Dean starts taking over and giving everyone orders on like how to split up and hunt in the team. And they're down with that because of this life or death situation. So, I don't know, they're all running around. At some point, the alpha vampire gets Sam up against a wall, and he says that he has big plans for him because without his soul and as a vampire, he'll be the perfect animal. And he's about to bite Sam, but then, like, Christian shows up with black demon eyes, like a group of demons shows up, and they sort of grab the alpha vampire and then teleport out. Sam looks up, and his enemy-to-lovers boyfriend, Crowley, is up in a balcony, slow clapping.
Exactly. One other thing, like, I like that in this scene, they never get a hand up over the vampire, basically. Like, he gets shot with the dead man's blood, but, like, the vibe is, like, unless he literally got teleported out of there was no way in hell they were gonna win against him, like, at all.
Yeah.
And I like also that, like, they were like, where is he? And then, like, he just comes in and snaps the guy's head off. And then, like, I also like that when they come into the room, they're, like, in a pack. Like, they're surrounding each other. Like, all of their backs are turned into each other. Because, like, that's a very defensive position. Right. And it's like, they're like so scared. And I think the show does a really good job of directing wise of showing how scared they are and how scared they should be. And also how stupid it is that Samuel doesn't want to kill this guy. And like, it really, I think, amplifies the feeling of like Samuel is being stupid. Like, this isn't just like, Dean isn't just saying this just because he disagrees. Like, this is a genuinely stupid thing to do. I don't know. It's like, it's choices like that. Like, it makes the episode.
Crowley is, saying hi, and Samuel goes like, bring Christian back. Like, my nephew that you just had possessed. And Crowley's like, oh my god, no, he was possessed ages ago, dude. I keep an eye on my investments. And Dean goes, you two know each other? And Crowley says, not in the biblical sense. That's reserved for Cass. More of a business relationship.
Yeah. He saw how Samuel and Cass interacted earlier, and he was like, I don't want to be mistaken as that.
Yeah. And Sam says, you're Crowley's bitch. Did having a soul make him not say bitch as much? But yeah, so it's revealed that Samuel's been working for Crowley this entire time, and Crowley's been sending him to catch monsters. Higher up in the food chain, the better. And he's also looking for purgatory. And he says it's because he wants it for real estate.
Location.
He calls Sam and Dean his employees, and he says that he knew that he could get Sam and Dean to work for him through Samuel because they're all hung up on family loyalty nonsense.
Yeah.
And Dean's like, well, fuck that. But Crowley says, I have Sam's soul, so you have to do what I say. And Samuel knew the whole time that Crowley was the one who pulled both of them up, or at least that's what he believes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crowley does his whole, I'm king of hell and I have so much power, so I definitely did that. And I will shove Sam back into hell if you don't listen to what I say. I mean, Sam's soul is already being tortured in hell. Sam is essentially, in many ways, still there. But yeah. But yeah, he's like, okay, so you work for me now. Here are your duties. Goodbye. And Gwen's really upset that they're working for a demon specifically.
Yeah.
And Samuel's just like, you will trust me though, please?
Yeah.
Like, we're still doing the same job. She goes off reluctantly. And Sam goes, working with a demon, huh? You're not who I thought you were. I guess if Sam was sold, he'd have more thoughts about Ruby and, like, general demon trust stuff like he did in season 5 with Crowley, but I guess currently it's just the I don't like demons with no particular emotional affect to it.
Yeah.
That's shaping him right now.
He's just playing this role. It did, like, for some reason, this part reminded me of, like, boys are out tonight, huh? I think it's because of the working with the demon.
Yeah.
And that is, he's playing gay. He's playing the role of being mad.
And Samuel says, you don't know anything about me, son, which I think is meant to mirror him telling Dean he doesn't know him yet that we were supposed to be sad about earlier.
Ugh, so corny.
And, yeah, Dean asks what Crowley offered Samuel. Girls?
He goes,
money?
girls?
Hair?
No, he's really obsessed with this guy being bald. Was this the guy earlier? He was like, and you're bald. Or was that another guy?
No, that was
Zachariah.
But Crowley calls Samuel Captain Chrome Dome. So yeah, Supernatural's really obsessed when people are bald. Which, I don't, when it's been true during Kripke era and currently during Gamble era, so it's not any manifestation.
I think
people are just mean about bald people in general.
Yeah, I think even until now, people think it's part of the, like, group of traits that are reasonable to make fun of. Like, being fat, you can't make fun of that. Being short, you can't make fun of that. Being bald, on the table.
People make fun of people for being short.
Yeah, but I think
people think it's okay.
I don't think so. I think there is an understanding that you shouldn't, like, you shouldn't make it a part of your value judgment of people. Like there is very little now of, like, oh, you're short, that's why you act this way. But there is a lot of, like, if you're bald, that's why you act this way.
Wait, what do people think bald people act like?
I think people think bald men are creepy. I think that is still a thing. And that is, like, something I had to field from people around me, talking about, like, a bald person in my life because they think he's creepy. And I had to be like, don't think like that. Like, I've experienced this in real life.
I see.
Yeah.
I feel like the main trait people still make fun of is, like, dick size, and that's, like, about it that I see.
Yeah. I think maybe I don't experience that as much as I would say, like, cis people would. Just because the circles I run around. Like, it's less, there's less whatever. Yeah. Sometimes I'll interact with people who are not in my immediate circle. And I'm like, oh, what's happening there? That is how I felt about the bald thing. It's so shocking to hear. Like, people notice it in a way that I think, or at least point out noticing it in a way that they won't point out other things. Like, some people think that it's rude to say that someone is old, but it's okay to say that they're bald in a way that attributes it to their oldness and attributes a character trait to it. I don't know. It's like a weird thing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of physical traits are up for people to make
You still
fun
think
of
so?
in many different circles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, you're saying in your circle, baldness is like the only one.
Yes. I mean, no, I wouldn't say the only one, but it is surely there prominently. It's prominently on top. Like like there's this term in Filipino called pendong, and it's specifically like slapping a bald head. And like people would say it when they see like a bald person. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, slapping bald heads, it has been a meme.
Yeah, but like I don't think
too.
you would see a bald person and you would go, I'm gonna slap your bald head. Like
yeah, probably not in real life.
Yeah, or like in real life, you're talking about a bald person, you'll point out like, oh, he's bald and I'm gonna slap his bald head. Like,
no,
I don't think we will. Yeah. It's a weird thing.
Samuel is cagey about whatever Crowley offered him. And he goes, like, you gonna make a move? Go ahead. But I won't do anything to you, Dean. You boys, you're my family.
You're my family.
But they'll just say the word family and supernatural
and then,
to mean anything, to do anything.
And like Dean immediately has a change of heart. He's like, Sam, he's right.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, no, Dean, he's not.
Yeah, Sam is pointing a gun at Samuel.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. Samuel goes, put a bullet in your grandfather or step aside. And Sam goes, okay. And points his gun.
Yeah. And like, the thing is like, Sam is now playing by the logic that Dean has been going, which is like, he has been saying we can trust him because he's family. And Sam now is like, oh, we can't trust him. Dean is right. Mm-hmm. And then Dean is like, no, Sam, I'm finally relegated to your point, which is that he is family and we should trust him no matter what. Not trust him no matter what, but like we should spare him.
Yeah. Okay, and Sam says what he's angry about Samuel about is that he sold us out. To who? In what way?
Like, to Crowley.
How did he sell them out to Crowley?
Literally selling their labor, like...
No, but that's not what sold us out means.
I know. I think it is with Crowley for that, and from that angle.
What's the actual betrayal? Like, I could be like, I get he lied to us, but what was the actual betrayal that
I don't know.
would count as selling out?
I think this term is used nebulously.
Okay. Yeah, maybe so. And yeah, Dean's just like, no, don't kill him, and he tells Samuel to leave. And then Sam goes, so what now? And Dean goes, we can't work for Crowley. And Sam immediately goes, I want to work for Crowley, though. So, like, what was he mad about?
Like, he's just going off vibes, Crystal. Like, let him be. The vibes, they're all over the place. So he doesn't really know. He's not sure.
Yeah, I guess it's like the personal betrayal of him knowing that Crowley had my soul is what I'm mad about, but I'm not actually that upset about having to work for Crowley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's like intentional, just like this is how his logic works.
I mean,
now.
honestly,
or if it's like we just need to end this with, and we're brothers and we're gonna fight this together.
What I think though, like, it is a great betrayal in a way to not say that like, Crowley is the one who brought him back, because like they could have killed Crowley the other episode, and Sam would have lost the opportunity to get his soul back from his perspective now.
Fair.
Like I think there is an aspect of great betrayal to that. So like, you know, like Sam could be coming from that place.
All right. I believe it. So, yeah, Sam says, like, I get why you don't want to work for him, but we don't have any other choice, because I just gotta get my soul back. Oh, also, isn't there a point in this episode where Dean asks Sam, like, do you even want to get your soul back?
Yes.
And
Sam goes, of course question.
I do. Because, okay, currently here he's also being like, I really want to get my soul back. Why?
I don't know. He's just vibing.
I don't really see why he would want
I think Oh, I looked it up and he doesn't say, yes, I want my soul back. He says, how does that have anything to do with the fact that Samuel is torturing people? Hilarious.
For real. Yeah. But here he's saying that he wants his soul back. So
yeah.
I guess this is stupid, but we'll just work for Crowley until we find another way. And Dean goes, and Sam goes, because this is the end of the episode, and this is how every episode of Supernatural ends. And then we track Crowley down and give that son of a bitch what's coming to him. You with me, Dean? And yeah.
And then we get piano. It wasn't piano music. There was
I don't
just
remember
music
what it
playing.
was. It feels like a rock music moment.
Yeah, I always like the episodes where there's no music playing at the end, where it ends with like complete silence. Love those. Okay, okay. What do we think about this episode? I think it's very obvious from how I've spoken about it that I actually did quite enjoy it. I like this episode.
I had a fun time.
Yeah. It's both good for watching and good for analysis, which I do think there are a lot of times where those two are not congruous with each other. Mm-hmm. Wow, congruous.
Oh, what did I think? I had fun.
Yeah.
I love Soulless Sam.
Love it. Like, I thought I was going to be kind of miserable. But no, I'm having fun in season 6 so far. I am. That's fun. I think there is like a lower stakes feeling to it. We're not deeply entrenched in season 4 and season 5, the supposedly good seasons. So we can just fuck around. And so, like, in season 4 and 5, when an episode was good, it was like, well, it's season 4 and 5. And when an episode is bad, it's like, how dare it be bad? Now it's like, when it's good, oh my god, it's so fun. I didn't expect it to be good. I expect nothing to be good.
Yeah.
So yeah. Best line, worst line. I don't like the your wife line and the your slut girlfriend line.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels so like, oh, I think it was in that scene and like in a couple scenes in this episode where I was viciously reminded of how much of a boys club Supernatural is. Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, I was ruminating a little bit during our 1 week break about how like I like Supernatural, and I do. And the masculine aspects of it are fun for me. But I remember being a kid and being viciously reminded of like, oh, like they don't see me as a part of this. Like I'm not a part of this. And like that being like a little bit of a sad thing. It's not like I want to be. Well, I mean, but like, you know what I mean? Like there is a different aspect to, I think, admiration of the masculine aspects of the show. Not particular admiration, like fascination, however you want to call it. And then also the vicious reminder that like, it's not made for you. It's not for you. All that crap. And also that in this universe, they don't want you there. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's a fascinating experience as I think a young kid watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm older and I'm still watching it.
Best line is, I didn't want it to come to this. You're not gonna hold me, Dean. Not here, not in a panic room, not anywhere.
No, that
You're
one is
stuck with
good.
the Soulless guy, so you might as well work with me. A Slay and a K.
Yeah. I think I like the line. What line do I like? What are the scenes of this episode?
You liked when the alpha vampire said when your kind were huddled around the fire.
Oh, yeah.
I was the thing in the dark.
Yeah. I like when the alpha vampire said when you were huddled in the fire, I was the thing around in the dark. Like, I don't know. Like, very fun. I've talked about it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love a guy who is the evolutionary basis of being creeped out. Well, spread those sheets. Hell yeah.
Oh, we probably should have figured out the racism points we were gonna give this before we got to this point of recording.
I wouldn't give it any, honestly. What do you think? No? Yes.
I think that it's a general larger supernatural problem. Like, I don't think there's any added racism, but I think that, yeah, just in general, if you're not gonna have black characters, you shouldn't have the evolutionary basis of vampires.
Yeah.
Be a black man who's menacing this compound of white people, and that's the entire conflict to this episode.
Yeah. Are they all Campbells?
I guess.
How have they extended their line this much? How many siblings does this guy have? Mary doesn't have any siblings.
I don't know.
What the fuck is this family tree look like? Oh, I mean, there are people from outside, quote unquote, because like Christian is married, for example,
yeah,
and etc. Okay, so they're all like married to hunters as well. If you don't marry a hunter, you're excommunicated.
Well, I don't think his wife is around, like in the camp.
Oh, but it's just mentioned that like no. Didn't they give like a baby to someone that one time? They were like, "Oh, you want a baby, right?"
So, I mean, I think she knows about hunting, but I don't think she's involved with the Campbell compound.
Okay. No, I was just thinking in terms of like, these are all white people. You're right. Like, this place is all white.
Yeah. No interracial relationships in the Campbell family.
Yeah. Okay. How would we point that?
I don't know. It's... Yeah,
because like we have casual, right, and then we have like fundamental to the episode.
Yeah, and I think it is fundamental.
It's fundamental to the season.
It's fundamental to the season.
I just think
so
like,
how does that translate to an episode by episode basis?
I think we should do as we've done before, like evaluate on an episode per episode basis, and then character's last appearance, and also because, like, maybe this is unfair because we didn't really give this kind of onus to Eric Kripke. But I don't know. Like, do you think it's unfair to Sarah Gamble to call her racist because we didn't call Eric Kripke racist?
Did we not call Eric Kripke racist?
No,
I guess we didn't call him specifically racist. We called episodes under his purview racist.
But we do frequent, like, for example, we have writers who frequently have things going on. Like Ben Edlund always has misogyny going on.
Something weird about women going on.
Yeah. And, you know, Sarah Gamble always has some racism thing going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so basically do the evaluation at the end of the season or in his last appearance, the Alpha Vampire's last appearance. But I wouldn't give this 0 either. Like, I feel like we should keep a running
tally.
Something. Maybe just like a 1 as in like the racism was there and we're going to add it all up to something at the end. Yeah,
okay. I do think there is misogyny in this one. I would say 1. Like, I think that counts as a 1 casual misogyny.
Yeah. Agreed.
And homophobia. I don't think there's any.
So.
They didn't say that Sam's gay for not having a soul.
Yeah. Crowley said that Samuel was not gay for working for him.
No, I don't think that's homophobia. I think he was just being for real.
It was fun. I know that's not the metric.
No, but at some point we do have to contend.
I don't think it was homophobia, and separately, I think it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I am DB. I am that DB.
What does DB stand for? Dean Winchester?
I don't know. Yes, it does.
Okay, I'm odd, so I'm guessing. I want to say that this is decent. high.
Yeah.
Like, it's, the big reveal, which people have been waiting for. There's a lot of action. I think the alpha vampire is very cool. But it's been really low this season besides Weekend of Bobby's. Okay, 8.7. I'm gonna get fucked over.
I'm making this. Actually, 8.7 is a very good guess.
Or is it?
I think I'm going to hedge one lower, 8.6.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh, it's an 8.0.
What?
Why are we so bad? We're horrible at it.
Do people hate women?
Great episode,
Sarah
but confusing conclusion.
That's fair.
The episode was great. I need to talk about the final revelation with Crowley. I don't get how they have any problem with working with Crowley to get Sam's soul back. Well, it's Sam's soul. Have you considered?
Yeah. Okay. This one says there's too much info. So I guess they didn't like that it was much lore dump. What
they're saying is like, I don't get how they have any problem with working with Crowley, and this is their reasoning. Sure, Crowley brought both. Why am I reading? I'm reading like a 5-year-old. Sure, Crowley brought both. That one's Sam.
Both Sams back, like Sam and Samuel.
Okay, sure, Crowley. The R's are getting to me. Can you read this bit? Sure, Crowley brought both Sams back to be his personal hunting squad, and he kept Sam's soul in the cage for insurance. So what? Better than that. And all you have to do is to seal the deal is kill and question some monsters. Sounds like a normal Tuesday night for these guys. I cannot see the negative here. So true.
Yeah, they just hate working with demons for reasons.
Yeah. No, this is a great deal. Why are they saying no? And this one, it says it's too much info. I like that I like the pacing. I suppose if you didn't know that Sam has no soul prior, it is whiplashy.
I guess, but you knew something was up.
You knew something was up, but like they don't let it, like they just, as you said, like they just accept that Sam is soulless, and we both like that. We both like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But like I'm assuming if you never knew that Sam was gonna be soulless in season 6, you'll be like, what? And Dean's just fine with this, and they're just fine with this.
Yeah.
And they have a normal, healthy relationship. Well, Crowley brought Sam and Samuel back. I find that hard to believe. Well, buddy, you don't have to.
They said Rick Worthy was the best vampire version on the show, which is true.
Hell fucking yeah. Is that the name of the actor? What's the name?
Rick Worthy is what they're calling the actor. I can check to make sure that
Let's see.
Indeed the name, because sometimes they get names wrong. Yes, that's what IMDb says.
Hell yeah.
What else has he been in? He was very good.
Yeah, let's see. Rick Worthy.
4 episodes of Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was in 41 episodes of The Magician, so I guess Sarah Gamble brought him
has worked
over
with him, yeah.
Well,
what is The Magicians?
Was in 2015, so
what is The Magicians?
It's like a show that Sarah Gamble made that queer baited is the main thing.
No, yeah. I know that it's queer baited, but like in what way? How did it queer bait?
I think that the two characters, there's some point when one of them's in a different universe or in a dream where he does kiss the other guy, but then when they come back to the real universe, they never talk about it again.
Love that. I
think that's just how gay people are. I think if you told Auden about that, he'd be like, that's right.
Yeah. No, if you told Auden about that, he'll be like, oh, it's because they're artists. And artists are all weird and complicated. But only artists. If you're a gay person who's not an artist, you're literally normal.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with him. I think I finally admitted to myself that he is my new thing I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
But only specifically his lectures on Shakespeare. Everything else, who give a fuck? Well, I like his poetry. Sometimes. Sometimes I don't. That's it for this episode of Supernatural. Next week, we will be discussing Season 6, Episode 8, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Leave us a rating or review wherever you get your podcasts.
I really don't know what happens in Season 6 episodes. Well, anyway, follow us on social media. We are on Tumblr at bustyasianbeautiespod.tumblr.com. Our official tag is BABPOD, B-A-B-POD. Thanks to everyone who's donated to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/bustyasianbeautiespod, which is where our outtakes live, and check out our merch at babpod.redbull.com.
You can email us any feedback, comments, or inquiries at bustyasianbeautiespod@gmail.com. See you guys next time. Bye!